Deciding what to do next. Having reviewed how well or not you are negotiating, there are three main elements you need to consider in deciding what to do to improve your negotiation. Be specific. Make it well grounded and focus on one key action. First, be specific. It does not have much to decide to be more cooperative or have a general intention, such as I need to be more cooperative. Instead, make a specific action commitment, such as if my offers get rejected, I must ask a question to find out why rather than explain the offer again. Second, be well grounded. The best way to be confident that what you plan to do will have the desired result is to base your actions on best practice, on what researchers have shown is the best thing to do. Throughout the rest of this book, you will find checklists, tips, and lists of helpful and unhelpful things that are drawn from case studies and other resources on negotiation. Set yourself a challenge to improve, but also be realistic. Aim to improve rather than be perfect. Remember that what happens also depends on the other party. Negotiation skills tip. Making an action plan. Negotiation with about I will. Finally, focus on one area of improvement at a time. If you think the area on which you need to improve most in that you always want to push through a solution, then develop a plan to help you slow down your pace and try to get that right rather than aiming to improve in lots of areas and just not improving in any of them. Good negotiators do not stop learning. From time to time, it is helpful to be even more contemplative about your life as a negotiator. It is more time consuming, but will bring different insights that will have improved your negotiating. The self evaluating Asian tool draws on Lang and Taylor's reflective practice approach to building meditation skills. Meditation is closely aligned to negotiation. See Chapter 10. So Lang and Taylor approach can easily be adapted and made relevant to negotiators. There are three areas for self-reflection, starting with one core belief, extending outward to talks on how the way of negotiating works, and considering on how beliefs and views are actually put into practice. Asking a mentor their opinion of you as a negotiator would also be a valuable exercise. It might be appropriate to use this reflection process as part of an annual performance review. Negotiator Toolkit, a self evaluation reflecting on your negotiation is your negotiating in the key to continually improving. It is also valuable from time to time to think far more deeply about what you are doing. Then, if you have an opportunity, ask someone you trust. What are my core beliefs and values? What are my personal values and beliefs? What is my view about conflict and cooperation? On what basis are differences to be resolved? What is my view about ethics in negotiation? What motivates me? What makes me negotiate the way I do? What is my views of the world around me? How do people behave in situations of conflict or disagreement? Why? How do people review information or not? How does trust work? How does fairness work? How does power work? What makes an outcome good? How do I interact with others? What would describe my typical reaction to a situation in which there are differences between participants? How do I behave when facing difficult choices or situations? How do I handle critical incidents in negotiations? What actions by others give me difficulty? Why? What action by me give rise to unhelpful reaction by others? Action commitment. What one thing am I now going to do differently the next time I negotiate? Why? Discuss questions. What can be done to minimize any adverse effects of personality on negotiation? What negotiation biases have you been aware of? And what impact have they had on your negotiation? Develop a plan to handle a situation where a negotiator uses anger as a persuasion tactic. What is the most important skill or quality to possess in order to become an effective negotiator? What are the advantages of reflective practice? Negotiation skills tips. Ask a mentor these questions. From seeing me negotiate, what do you think are my core beliefs and values? What makes me negotiate in the way I do? From seeing my negotiate, can you tell how I expect people to behave in situations of conflict or disagreement? How I expect others to review information? What I think about trust? What I think about fairness? 3. The DNA of negotiation, the essence of negotiation. In this chapter, the focus turns to the core elements of negotiation. After reading this chapter, you should be able to explain the concept of reciprocity in negotiation, understand the role of trust, power, and information exchange in creating the dynamics of negotiation. Be aware of ethical consideration when negotiating. Appreciate the importance of implementation as part of a negotiation outcome. Chapter 2. Explore the two strengths of negotiation DNA, the two parties without whom a negotiation cannot occur. This chapter examines key elements that are hardwired into the negotiation process. These elements reciprocity, trust, power, information exchange, ethics, and outcome hold the negotiator together. If any one of them is ignored, then it is likely that negotiation will not go well. Reciprocity. If you try to win on the other negotiators, they are likely to do the same to you. A common feature of any social interaction is reciprocity. The tendencies of one person to match what other is doing. This is how we relate to each other, whether in information gathering or sitting across the negotiation table. Reciprocity is a central dynamic of negotiation. Morton Dodge, one of the key figures in social conflict research, that is, research into how to avoid conflict, realized that while we might look at the context, personality traits, and other sources of conflict, the cause of any conflict behavior being displayed by the person across the negotiating table is likely to be our own behavior. The reverse is also true. If a negotiator acts collaboratively, this too is likely to be much what the person opposite. Dutch calls this his cruel law of social relations. It is a cruel law, a general trained to reciprocate, not precise matching. Negotiation is messy. Nevertheless, it is a power dynamic. Brett and Okumura found this matching behavior strong enough to term it the bonds of reciprocity. The phenomenon has important implications for how negotiation unfold. The result of any negotiation is two parties with differences, and the typical bias is to expect negotiation to be zero-sum. It follows that if negotiators give little prior thought to their negotiation, then before too long they will be emphasizing their differences, overlaying this with a bit of competitiveness, which then is reciprocated, and this contentiousness is in turn reciprocated. A conflict spiral develops to no one advantage. This is the positional bargaining described by Fisher, Overy, and Patton, in which potentially beneficial solutions are not considered and where, even if the parties find reasonable agreement, the process of achieving it has been so poor that neither is happy with the outcome. The reverse reciprocation is also true. If one party is cooperative, then the other is also likely to develop a cooperative approach. If, for example, one negotiator refrains from interrupting